Happy Saturday, everybody. It's me out of this world, Burrito, and we're here coming to you live for the fourth Server Best Pilots Tournament. This is the tournament where pilots demonstrate their ability in team-based player versus player combat. So we got 4v4s going on today, teams of 4, plus a half point. We'll get over that later. But again, I'm your host today, and I'll be aided on some pre-show discussion here. But before we get into that, I do want to get into a few housekeeping things. First of all, this is live on Twitch right now. We'll be engaging with chat if you have any questions or anything to come up. We also want to hear you cheering for your friends who are in the tournament. All good vibes today. We also want to mention that this will be available later on YouTube for reviewing. But before the tournament starts in 30 minutes, let's also go over the rules for people less familiar with it, and some changes regarding some chassis balances that have happened on Legends since June of 2025, as that's when our last SBP was. Yes, it's been over a year ago. And then, of course, finally, we're going to go over this year's participants. But getting on to the general rules here, the battle will be taking places at 2 locations in Yavin space. This broadcast will be covering 1 location, as we don't have the budget for 2 locations, but we'll have 3 different camera angles of the action at location 1. So we're going to see half the fights, as everybody will be fighting every team at least once. The pot is pretty large. I think it's a few 100 million credits at this point. It started at 50 and the buy-in was 5 mil. It's going to be split between first, second, and third place in a 50-30-20 split. Team captains were selected by the event organizers, and then the team members themselves were randomized. So the team captains weren't doing schoolyard picks or anything. This was to kind of guarantee some level of balance between the teams, and looking at the teams, they looked pretty even so far, but we'll go over that later. The specific formats themselves, though, are up for the teams to decide. Speaking of those, the formats can either be 1 interceptor class ship. These are small ships, so think of the A-Wing or TIE Interceptor. 1 medium class ship, so your X-Wing, that kind of energy. A heavy class ship, you could be thinking of a Kimagilla, an Ixion, stuff like that. Or a turret class ship, such like the Havoc or the Y-Wing. The other format players can choose is to drop one of their heavy classes, but also gain a gunner if they're taking specifically the Havoc. Why is the Havoc like this? It's because it's got so much big ship energy. But going on, we just want to talk about scoring really fast, is that no one is eliminated from the tournament. Like I said, everybody will be playing everybody at least once. Points are awarded via a round-robin format. Winning a round earns 1 point, and then each enemy defeated in a round earns your team 1 point as well. A defeated ship awards as many points as there are players in that ship. So turreted vessels count for 2 points, and the Arc 170 would count for 3 points if they had 2 turret gunners. We have no Arc 170s this time around, though, so lament all you want. Maybe it'll happen one day. We do want to talk about a scoring example really fast. In this example, you can see that Team 1 loses 2 pilots. Team 2 loses all of their pilots, and thus the round. So in this case, Team 1 will earn 5 points, 1 for each of the 4 pilots defeated, as well as 1 point for winning the round, while Team 2 is earning 2 points, 1 for each of the pilots they defeated from Team 1. Rounds are over once each ship on a team is destroyed or until 5 minutes has elapsed. If a team isn't entirely eliminated by the end of the 5-minute time limit, then the round ends and points are only awarded for defeated pilots that round. No one gets the round win point. The reason we have this time limit is because our pilots are excellent aces and they are very sweaty. So if we leave them for their devices, they'll just be dueling each other all day. And we got a lot of matches to get through here. Moving on, we'll talk about which ships fall into which classes. You can see here the Interceptor, medium, heavy, and turret classes. Talking about changes, though, the Interceptor class has 2 new additions, which is the Delta 7 Aether Sprite and the Mytil Starfighter. Those were added within the last year, with the Delta 7 being added last December. It's basically a V-Wing with a few different modifications, basically no S-foils and a few different stats. Mytil is basically a TIE Advanced. It was added during Empire Day for freelance pilots only. A new medium class joining us this year is the TIE Hunter. You can think of it as similar to the stock X-Wing, also added during Empire Day. I say all this, but you won't be seeing the Mytil or TIE Hunter today as no one has entered them. There is 1 Aether Sprite in the mix, though, so you will see that out there flying today. All the heavy classes and all the turret classes are the same as last time. Moving on to just a few more additional rules quickly. We do have some banned ships, specifically the TIE Oppressor, because it doesn't have an equivalent freelance or rebel ship loadout. So it would be an imbalance to allow it into the competition, since you wouldn't be able to mirror that in certain team compositions. And of course, there are no POBs. This includes the Lambda, 2 turret POBs like the YTs, and no gunships. These ships are entirely different classes from other vessels, which is why they are banned. Maybe one day we'll have a tournament format specifically for those vessels, but that's not today. Some other notable rules we want to go over is that teams may not have more than one of any starship class except for medium, which they could have up to two. Unique chassis are required, but you can have reskins or clones or shadows of that chassis. So, for example, you could have a Jedi Starfighter and a Belobub, but not two Jedi Starfighters. You cannot change your chassis or ships between rounds, and if someone gets bounty hunted during a round, then the battle will be replayed later in the bracket. This could be good or bad for you, so you want to make sure to try to get those bounties cleared within the next 25 minutes before the competition starts. Lastly, before going on to talking about teams, let's talk about those chassis balance changes in October of last year. The Y-Wing and Y-Wing Long Probe had some adjustments, specifically buffs. The hitboxes now match the chassis. Previously, there was a full rectangle at the rear of the vessel, but now there is a gap between the engines on the chassis. So this means that some blaster shots could go through that gap. These hitboxes are notoriously flat and wide, so very skilled pilot will be able to tailor their flying around their opponents, making them hard to hit. But also the speed stats were buffed from 0.9 to 0.93. Small change, but still notable. TIE advanced hit spheres were also adjusted at this time to be a little bit closer to other interceptor ships. And then in May 2026, we also saw some speed rotation factors for the Chemogilla, Ixie, and Havoc were reduced. This was to make them more comparable to other heavy class ships. We're going to talk about, again, what ships are going to go on here, but to help me talk about that, I have a special guest with us today. Aces will know them very well, and they are a previous Server Best Pilot participant, but let's go move over my desk to make some room for them. It's Hack, everybody.
Yo,
How are you doing
thanks for
today?
having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. All right, so Hack's going to help me go over the teams here, talk about their skill sets. Again, Hack is a very experienced pilot on Legends and know these players well, spends a lot of time in deep space. So we're going to start off with top of the roster here. Team Kani, who's got Tierbaka, Spicer, and Demmas. And just to let everyone know, these are their in-game names. Some of you may know them better on Discord by other handles, such as Tierbaka being Tyrell. So just keep that in mind if you're like, who are these people? But I was looking over their flight records from previous SBPs, and this is a pretty impressive roster. Connie was fourth in SBP 3, and SBP 3 is notable because there was a three-way tie in first place. So you could effectively say Connie was second. Tyrell placed first in SBP 1, and then Spicer placed first in SBP 3, and was also flying a JSF, so bringing back the JSF for this one. But what do you think of this compact?
So yeah, like you said, a lot of these pilots are pretty notable. Demmas, I believe he goes by Toby on Discord. I don't know too much about his flying style, but I will say something notable is Connie and Spicer are both on very comfort picks for them. Tyrell, he's in the Dooney. He's flown the Dooney some. He's comfortable in it. Uh, I think it's really nice to see that the Doonies has a lot more picks in this tournament than it has previously. I think there's 4 Doonies this time around.
Yeah.
Overall, a very strong team.
Yeah, I think the Dune Lizards would be a very difficult matchup for some players. During Deep Space last night, I heard some players lamenting in voice chat about not being able to hit the Doonies. And this is just due to how that chassis hitbox is. It's kind of awkward to hit, which makes it a little bit more meta, but it is still on the bigger side of some of these chassis. So we'll see how that works out for everybody.
The Dooney lives and dies by its slide on if you can control the slide or not. A lot of times I like to compare space in this game to more of like a first person shooter game. And most ships you try to shoot for body shots in that analog, and that analogy. The Dooney you want to shoot for headshots. You have to lead its head. So it's a really big dance between on if the pilot can use that slide mod to their advantage and if their opponent can hit those headshots.
No, absolutely. All right, let's move on to Team 2, Team Ya. This is another very strong team based on the loadout here, but Ya placed third in SBP 3. Rough Rider placed second in SBP 1 and third in SBP 2. So we already have top 3 placement historically among this team. And then Ryllion is our first feature here, flying a Y-Wing with a gunner. What do you think about this setup, though? It's our first gunner.
So anyone who's flown in D space will know Ryllian, and we also know his gunner, who I'm pretty sure is Baramy. Ryllian really likes to kite. He will make use of that speed buff to the Y wing. I expect to see them go in and out of fights a lot, trying to bait people to chase them and use that gunner to their advantage.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I
And
was
if you ignore him, he's just going to do drive-bys and light up your whole block.
yeah, I was about to say I was up in deep space last night in a YT just gunning, and Rillian was up there with Baramy, and there was like one or two times I didn't catch him soon enough on optics, and yeah, they just laid in a whole volley into us. So very aggressive pilot, very good gunner, and they have good team coordination. Rillian knows when to pull off and try and reset a fight, and very good about approach angles. One thing that's difficult in these kinds of team fights is knowing how to approach the fight. It's something that you get canonized on early when you're learning how to fly in this game. But then doing it with a gunner is a whole nother problem because you're trying to think about what's my gunner's range and how do they see. Rillian's really good at that. Lots of practice.
Yeah, he really values giving his gunners a good, clean shot. It'll be very interesting to watch how many pilots want to take the bait and chase the Y wing, and if so, if Aldez and Yaw specifically can leverage their firepower to punish that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because that we also have to mention here. So if you see an X-wing with a blue background, that's the advanced X-wing, so the heavier stock, fully loaded out. That combined with the Carax and Star Viper, this is a pretty nasty loadout. So if people do get distracted by Rillian, like you're saying, they're gonna definitely get punished for it. That's not a team who you really want to be ignoring. And it sounds like from Kurt, there is a bet going on in the community, and it seems like Team Yaw is a betting favorite. So I that says a lot among the community. All right, let's move on to our third team, which is Team Cogig, and this is a noteworthy team as Cogig placed third in SPP1, Viper placed fourth in SPP2, and first in SPP3. And SPP3 was also a heavy sick. So Viper's coming back with a heavy sick, but being matched with Weezer's V-Wing, which Weezer is very nasty in a V-Wing. Again, he was up in deep space last night giving me a hard time. And then we have Kogan the Dooney, which we talked about earlier. But this is our first, and I think the only appearance in the Ricks in this tournament, which is a kind of a hit and run play style, right?
For the most part, yeah, it wants to come in fast, leverage that high speed mod, and fish for the one shots, and then get out just as quickly as it came. Something notable here is I believe this is the second time Kogig and Weezer have been on the same team together. So they have a history of working together in these. I could be wrong. You could double check me on that, but I'm pretty sure. Uh, Kogig is one of the people I would consider top end in the Dooney specifically as that chassis. And then, like you said, Viper performed really well in the heavy sick, and Weezer is known for his V wing just being annoying, hard to hit, just in your face constantly. It's a very aggressive team looking for just straight one shots.
Mm-hmm. Just makes me think about the amount of firepower here because obviously with the sick and V-Wing, you have a lower mass, but the Ricks is really powerful. So as long as this team can support their Ricks, I think they'll do all right. All right, let's move on to Team Craig, who's a favorite because Craig lives and dies on the TIE Bomber. It's flown every SBP and when it actually placed third in SBP2 with the TIE Bomber, but it's being supported by quite a bit lighter of a loadout here. So we have a stock X-Wing, we have a Royal Guard Interceptor, and a Vaxi. So I think this team's going to have to play around Craig a lot. And Craig, I'm going to be assuming, is going to be leveraging the missiles here because there's not much room in these other loadouts for ordnance.
Yeah, Craig, he's got a good team. He's got a good team comp, but the problem I see with this is that he has put a target on his back. Everyone knows Craig Lizerka as the TIE Bomber guy. Everyone knows it. Everyone's fought against him. His other teammates, all very good pilots, but much different armaments, like you said, much different firepower spread. Everyone's going to probably be dumping on Craig So I'm looking for his teammates to really have his back and punish anyone who dives in too deep on Craig right now.
No, absolutely. We saw it in previous tournaments as well, where certain pilots would be get targeted for their loadouts, especially these larger bomber fighters. And we've also seen where specific pilots who are targeted for their skill. We saw that, which we can talk about later. Slayer getting a target on his back in SBP2 just for his performance in SBP1.
Oh, he
So,
wasn't allowed to play the game that tournament.
oh no, he was shut down at every single turn. And again, Craig is if Craig isn't the best TIE bomber pilot on the server, then you have to show me somebody who is, because that's very intimidating. And then again, to your point, yeah, there's no other easy targets around here. It's just going to be focused on Craig. All right, let's talk about the next team comp, which is an exciting one, I think. So this is Team Vasune. So Vasune was placed first in SBP 2 and second in SBP 3, I think, both in the TIE aggressor. But what was most notable is Vasune was your teammate in SBP 3. So I think you might be able to speak
Uh,
to this team better than me, right?
Not only was Bassoon a teammate, he has a gunner with him who I was also lucky enough to have as my gunner as well in that team. Another absolute great gunner, possibly the best gunner on the server. Um, and Bassoon really knows how to give them a shot, a clean shot to make do. Bassoon likes to run a very in your face fly style that just circles around you, and he's either taking shots and getting conch missile launches on his own or giving his gunner free reign with his cat. So this is one of those teams where you don't have a good target to go after. There is no, okay, we just dive this team because they're all in either very small or very maneuverable ships, or in Bothrop's case, the Vaxi, which it can have everything in it.
Yeah.
There is no fast kill on this team. I expect this team to go longer fights and just slobber knockers the whole way through.
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be a very difficult comp to go against, and these are all very experienced pilots as well. So Sneezo, very well known for his Belbub, but he'll fly basically anything. He's going to slay it in the Star Viper, and then yeah, that Vaxi can be really dangerous. And then this is the Delta 7 Aether Sprite with a Necrium, so basically a V-wing. Very difficult to hit, very tricky. So I think this is probably one of the
I
more
also had
balanced comps.
Necrom as one of my teammates in
Oh,
I
okay.
think the first SPP.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, so you're familiar with these pilots, and they've been around the block. Definitely been participating since the beginning. So this is definitely a team to keep your eye on.
Yes, sir.
All right, maybe the infamous team. We're finally on Team Slayer. So Slayer is of course the champion SBP1, and he makes it his job to make sure people know that he's the champion SBP1, and people don't want him to win. He has not placed in any SBP since the first one, and in, to my shock, he comes out in a TIE bomber. He, from my understanding, he likes them, but usually we see him enter like stock X-wing, advanced X-wing, something more medium to nimble. But he's up here in a TIE bomber. I think you might have some insight into his thought process here, Hack.
I have two things I'd like to talk about on this team specifically. The first, like you said, is Slayer Keck in the TIE bomber. He does like the bomber as a platform, but he usually, in my experience, has chosen other bombers. I've never seen him specifically in the TIE bomber. I expect, because of his departure from using like the advanced X-wing that he's been using in the previous tournaments for laser one shots, I'm expecting him to come out with. So he's got something up his sleeve. He's either going to run some kind of weird missile combo. I would bet money he's running IR2s, which they got nerfed. They were illegal in the first SBP. They've since been changed, and most people have dropped them. I expect to see Slayer come out with something like IR2s and chase down all the interceptors because they're still very good int poppers. I expect him to just dive on any int he sees as a free kill and get the numbers advantage immediately in his favor.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like maybe a more even aggressive approach than Craig's TIE bomber playstyle, but something that I would expect from Slayer. What's also interesting is his team comp. I know Maddie is an SPP experienced in that TIE aggressor, but I don't believe he has a gunner in that one. But I think Kiara and Rat Smacker are new this season. I was going through the rosters and couldn't find them, but I might have overlooked them or they had different names then.
Uh, Kiara Kitty is definitely new. to this SPP. I have experience with them. I helped get them started. They've been looking forward to this for a long time. They're really good in the backside. They can stay alive for a very long time. Ratsmacker, I don't have a ton of experience with. I don't know them very much personally. Maddie is the other one I wanted to talk about, though.
Mhm.
Maddie has been around for a while. I've never seen him fly the aggressor. I'm very interested to see how he handles that and how much he can keep people off of Slayer's back.
Yeah, I think that'll be core. And I know Maddie's been very active in Deep Space lately, trying to get a lot of practice in. But I would say that for in terms of like team ability, this would be the wild card team, just because Kiara and Ratsmack are a little bit more unknowns in the SPPs. So we'll be definitely keeping an eye on how this team performs. Okay, Team Roarak. So the most interesting part about this team is that none of these players are former top 3 or 4 placements in SPP, but obviously Roarak flies a great stock X-wing. They were kicking my ass last night in deep space. So Roarak's got a Dookie, very strong in the Dooney, strong in the Y-wing, experienced pilot. Then we got Splinter in the advanced X-wing, lots of firepower there, and then Ecox in the Actis, also great pilots. So no top 3 or 4 placements in this team, but all really good pilots. How do you think they're going to perform as a team, though? This is quite an interesting loadout. It kind of seems to rest in the middle of firepower and maneuverability.
They're a very mobile team. They do have firepower. The Advanced X obviously has the probably 3.8s, and the Dooney, I would assume, is either 2.10s or 10.8. Still good firepower. Like you said, Rorak and Dookie have been in previous tournaments. They've always been solid for sure, but not never super high. Uh, Barrett is returning. He used to be really good,
Mm.
from what I've heard, and he's good now for sure. He's definitely shaking off the rust. I'm really excited to see how Barrett specifically performs because I haven't got to see him fight a ton since he's been back. I'm excited to see how Dookie handles the Dooney as well because I'm not sure I've ever seen him fly it.
I've seen him take it out like 1 or 2 times, but usually he's looking an excuse to take up the Y wing. So hopefully he's gotten a little bit more practice in with it. But yeah, if Barrett is awake today and at the stick, this team has a really good chance. And again, like Ecox last night in deep space, flying that Actus really well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this team performs. Moving on though to Team Falos, I wasn't even sure if the Sir Mick Doctor Surgeon was going to even make it in, but he is here, and his team is looking kind of scary. I'm going to be honest. So the first thing that I want to mention about Team Phallus is, of course, Phallus himself placed 4th in SPP 2, 3rd in SPP 3, and in 3 he was in the Bellabub there. Then he's followed up with Rose and the TIE Defender, a very scary chassis. Then we have 2 staff members from Legend staff. So this team's the one with the staph infection. But don't let that fool you. They're very good pilots. Spadebop in the stock X-wing, very very good pilot. Previously in SPPs, flew great. And then Rhapsody, I think, is new to SPPs, but not new to space. I know he's newer in the Star Viper, and I think you might have more insight into that hack.
Yeah, so you touched on it a bit. You wasn't sure that Foul Sir McDoctor Surgeon would even get in. Uh, he actually took my place where I had to bow out of this one. And that leads into Raycat Rhapsody. Uh, he has a lot of experience in interceptor style ships. When him and I were talking, we actually thought about putting him in the T wing because it's really close to the A wing that he flies. I'm not sure I've ever seen him fly the Star Viper. I think this will be his first week on it. I'm really excited to see how he has learned and adapted to the Star Viper. Uh, Phalos, obviously, just a demon in the Bubble Lab.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since he dropped the sick, that became the new sick for him. Uh, Rojas, really good in the defender. I expect to see Rojas get a lot of good shots. And Spade Bop has always performed really well in his Reggie X. I think this is a very scary team. And if I was going to put on a bet right now, I think I would put my majority on them.
Yeah. No, this is a very intimidating. Like even just looking at the chassis is scary, but then you look at the pilots themselves, and you're like, this is. I know this team might not be leading in the bets, but this is a scary team. I would be careful of this, but there's somebody who's extremely terrifying coming up next. That's Team Rilla. So Rilla hasn't had the opportunity to actually participate in SBPs. I think this is their first. But Rilla is a really good pilot, especially in the heavier chassis, and they're rocking the TIE Defender, which is extremely intimidating. Not only that, but they have I Spy on their team, who was fourth in SBP 3. And I Spy is this time rocking the Star Viper, a very intimidating chassis. And then Nokisa has experience as well. And so does Maximonio, I believe. And so this is another like very terrifying team, in my opinion. What do you think, Hack?
This team is actually really funny because Ryylla, Nokisa, and Maximano they're all from the same place, right? They have that Viking connection. They're going to
Okay.
come in Viking swords blazing and just try to raid and pillage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Ryylla really good in that defender. He knows how to abuse the slide mod in ships like that. He's got incredible aim. He's one of the best pilots on the server, bar none. Like he's in the top 3 easily. His teammates also really good. Yeah, I look to watch Ryylla get some crazy one shots, and he's going to have a lot of people on him because he is definitely the main target on this team. So it's all about how he can maneuver and use his firepower.
Absolutely. And before we get the match to start, we'll go over the last team really quick. Team Aenema, Annabelle, better known as probably one of the best Dooney pilots as well here, placed first in SBP2 with a different chassis, but Annabelle's coming up in the Dooney. And then I believe Koyar is new to SBP and newer in general, but going up in the VAC side, which we talked about strikes earlier. What I want to talk about, though, is Dilius is up here with the only Havoc. And everyone's always scared of the Havoc chassis. So why is that?
The Havoc has historically been really good. Not necessarily in the SBP specifically, but in deep space, it's just a very good chassis. It's got the mass you like enough mass to run a bomber configuration. It turn fights, it can kite, it can have a gunner, it's got the 2 tubes. It's really good. A lot of people have recently dropped it and not been flying it as much since the throttle changes that came forward. But for a tournament like this that's on a low timer and stuff like that, I think it'll still perform well. Um, like you said, Annabelle Aenema, one of the best pilots for sure. Amazing in the Dooney. Some of the best aim on the server. And then you have Opus, Licarius. Uh, they bounty hunt a lot on their JSF. They are extremely hard to get shots on. They know how to sit in a good throttle position to where they just sit on top of you. Most fights like that come down to if you can get missiles on them. So I want to see Aenema protecting his teammates, Tellus using those missiles to keep people off of them. And I think if you do that, this team is very hard to kill.
No, absolutely. Okay, well, that's all the teams. The first match is about to begin. I'm getting the camera set up right now, but is there anything else you want to share with our viewers, Hack? We again appreciate you for being here.
Nothing much. I just thank you for having me. Good luck to the competitors, and you know, thank you for putting this on and having a good video and stuff on your YouTube and everything afterwards. I
Oh, yeah,
appreciate it.
no
It's always good,
problem.
always fun to go back and watch.
Yeah, and we want to appreciate you again for being here and your insights. I get up to deep space, but obviously not as much as you do. So the first match, though, of Team Kani versus Team Slayer is going to be underway shortly. I'm getting them on optics right now, so we'll move over to that. And we are just waiting for the rosters to be updated. We see Maddie moving forward, though. And it looks like the first round is underway as Team Kani and Team Slayer go into the fight here. We already see a lot of shots going off here. Let's see how Connie's doing over here in the advanced X-Wing. Connie moving in. Trying to get an angle spinning around there. We're already seeing some damage come in. Ooh, some big hits there. Oh. Looks like some people already down there. We already have one out. And it looks like Connie's still going in there. Slayer's still in there. Maddie's still in there. Let's go over to see how Slayer's doing up there in the TIE Bomber. Taking some big hits on his shields and armors right there. And duking it out with the enemy Vaxi, it looks like. Which should be Kiara. Oop. I think Kiara just bit it. So Slayer moving around to go support his team members here. Maddie hasn't been touched yet in that aggressor, by the way. Either your low priority target or just hard to hit, but it looks like we're seeing some spin out there on the X-Wing in the middle. Kani's having a hard time dealing with these numbers. Kani's out of it. I think that's a win for Team Slayer, it looks like. All right, that was a good first round between Team Slayer and Team Kani. I'm going to be working on resetting the perspectives here. All right, the teams are off, though. Cogig is moving in with his team. His team moves out in front of Cogig. And we have our first skirmish going on right here in the middle. Already seen shield flares up here. Falos in the Bellabub. Oh, somebody. Oh, the TIE Defender already out of here. That is one of the larger chassis out here right now. Oh, the Rix is out of here as well from Team Cogig. Cogig's doing their best to stay in right now. But they're out of here. Let's move over to Spade Bop on the enemy team here, who is right now in that X-Wing, trying to get a turnaround on Weezer, who is still alive in the V-Wing. Oh, somebody just bit it. Weezer is still up, though. You can see him way out there, and if we zoom in, we can see this fight just a little bit better. Spadebot coming around for an angle on Weezer. They're all just trying to take down Weezer right now. Weezer is just so slippery in that V-Wing. Just small chassis up here fighting right now. Spadebot's got to be careful in that X-Wing, though. Get another angle up here on Raycat, who has not been touched in their Star Viper. So doing some excellent flying right now as we see Yavin Prime in the background there. Let's come in close here on Spadebop, who's fighting very close as this fight comes in tight to our camera here. If we pull back a little bit, might see they're being chased right now, trying to get enemy off their tail. Their team's giving them very good coverage right now. Spadebop coming back in, trying to get a hit on somebody. Spadebop coming around close. Again, trying to get an angle to fly in, just get those guns on somebody. Ooh, looks like it worked out. Oh, there's another one down. That was Weezer who just went out. I think that's a win from Team Falos. Yep, it sure is. And again, we have Vasune in that TIE Aggressor, which it looks like teams are ready, and they are moving into fight. Vasune does have a gunner, Baramy. And the teams are going into the engagement, targeting two people on Vasune. Vasune already taken hits down to the chassis. They see Vasune as a threat, which they rightfully should, and want him out of here as soon as possible. Zooming in here, we see this skirmish going on, but Vasune running tight here, already down to armor, barely just getting lucky on these low rolls. Oh, Vasune is out of it, though. Let's go over to Tilios in the Havoc, who is doing great. It hasn't taken a hit so far, despite that wide hitbox, but fairly flat, making it tough to hit when flowing right. And obviously, Tellus is flying it right. Trying to get a turnaround here. Get an angle on this enemy Vaxi. Having a hard time. That is a small ship to hit, but it looks like we see a shield flare there. It's got a hit in. Turn around once again. Annabelle's had taken some hits over here, we can see. Coming in hot. Trying to support his team members here. Going around, trying to hit this Star Viper. That is giving them a hard time right now, which rightfully so, as I believe that Star Viper... Yes. That is a strong pilot in that Star Viper. Annabelle coming back around, though. Trying to get an angle. Support Tellus here in the Havoc. Trying to get this Vaxi off of them. Vaxi's taking some hits. Looks like it's a 3-on-1 here. Yeah, that's a difficult position to be in. See what Tellus does here in the Havoc coming in. Coming close, but I think that might be it. Do we still have Detoxo in here? Yeah, Detox is still over here. Sneezo in the Star Viper in a 1v4. Not an enviable position to be in, but if there's anyone who's going to be in a 1v4 and come out of it, I would put money on Sneezo for sure. Sneezo, very strong pilot. Getting hit there in Tellus. Good hits. Front shields might be gone on Tellus there. Now, the question is, are they going to get Sneezo before the 10 minutes are up? Or 5 minutes are up? which now I have Sneasel up here on cam. Let's zoom in for a closer look. It's taking some shield damage and some armor damage, but it's 4-1v4. He's still just going for it. Oh, but that's a big fat chunk taken out of him, and he is out of here. The space combat is fast and vicious. He was looking pretty good there for a minute, but just one slip up and you're out of there. That is a win for Team Aenema. And that was a very good match. The fight is underway. Rough Rider heading in with Team Ya here, going against Team Kani. We're already in this fight, and it looks like Rough Rider is already chasing someone down. Tierbaka over here in the Dune Lizard. See them trying to come around and get an angle. Already taking a hit to the shields, though. We zoom here. Looks like they're starting to use that asteroid for cover, pulling Team Ya back to these asteroids, trying to mitigate some of that firepower going out. But Tier taking another hit. Another one. Low roll on that second one, though. Still has some systems there. Rough Rider's taking a hit. Ya has not been touched yet in their Star Viper. There goes Tierbaka. Let's go see how Ya's doing in the Star Viper. We'll zoom in here. Obviously doing a great job here of keeping it going. And we will get another member of Team Ya here on optics as we have Ryylla out here in the Y-Wing as you see them moving further and further from the combat area, but that's just what happens. I think this is our closest view right now. So you can get a little bit closer here on Rough Rider. So we see here, from the zoom out position, you can kind of see how they're moving around this asteroid using as cover, trying to mitigate some of the fire. Zooming in here, see Rough Rider again, trying to get an angle. Looks like taking a hit there, moving out, trying to avoid Ryllian's gunner. Part of using this cover here and drawing Team Ya over to them is Team Kani is very aware of Bearme, Ryllian's gunner, and having this extra cover kind of prevents him just from getting extra shots in when maybe you're caught unawares. Speaking of Ryllian is out here, way out here. Zoom in, just a little dot. Went far out, turned around, come in. Looks like it was worth it. Got a hit on somebody. Still hasn't gotten hit yet, but just way out there. This fight's slowly moving away from us. Closest still is Rough Rider in the cracks, just dueling it. Duking it. Looks like Team Ya did lose a member this time, so they're not going to have a clean sweep here, but Rough Rider is barely holding on, so Team Ya might lose a second member here against Team Kani, who's putting up a great fight, holding this 3v3, but someone has taken a huge hit there as this fight continues to spiral away from us a little bit. Another big bit. Someone's out of it. That's another one down. This 3v3 turned into a 3v2. Oh, but looks like they cleaned up somebody else really quick there. That might be it. Can't really tell. Everyone's just a little dot right now, but it looks like Team Ya has won against Team Kani. Yep, that is a sweep. Team Kani has taken some losses there right at the end. Very good fight, but you can see strategy being used there among Team Kani, trying to counterplay Team Ya. Again, a very strong team. People very wary of Ryllian's gunner, and the extra firepower that team just is innately carrying. Okay, looks like we're underway. Craig flying in. Team Craig versus Team Roarak. Let's see what Craig can do in this bomber. No early pick on the first pass. Turning around. People aren't on Craig. Craig taking a wide turn here, trying to turn this thing around and get a hit on somebody, which somebody has been struck already as they fight around this asteroid. Craig taking a hit there as well. Coming over to Rough Rider. Or Fast. Yeah. Fast in the X-Wing. Going really well. Craig over here doing as well. Also taking a hits. Antoni Roarak, it's not even getting a hit. Look at this. Right in my face. Turns around, blasts that Dooney right up in my business. Ooh. I think I've seen some tubes going out. Yeah, the green trails. We see some IR2s as Hack predicted. Some people are trying to use some IR2s in here. Because, again, even despite those nerfs on the IR2s and Legends, that lock can still get you. That Dooney is gone. Roarak turning around, chasing this Royal Guard Interceptor. Craig's still in this as well, by the way. Just a little bit far from my camera right now. As Fast is also in this turnaround, we can see here. As, Craig just bites the dust off camera here. Looks like Craig was in a turn fight with somebody. Fast trying to get an angle. Chasing down Team Roarak. Man. Having really good fights here. Fast linking up with their team member. just chasing Roarak down. Roarak just barely holding on here, as we can see. One bad weapon roll, and this might be all over for them. Ooh, got a good hit there, though. See Roarak turning around. So we see Fast up close and personal here, trying to get an angle on Roarak. Ooh, there's some good hits there. Ooh, another good hit. That was another one who just dropped out, but Roarak's still in it. Fast coming around. Don't know, this Vaxi, there must have been a damage roll that hit that Vaxi's engine. That Vaxi was limping. Turn around to Roarak here, see how they were doing. Turn around, trying to get an angle, barely holding on, no armor, almost no shields. One or two bad damage rolls away. Ooh, but it looks like they got behind somebody, taking out another player. Fast hasn't been touched, by the way. Look at them. No concern at all. Not an SPP before, I believe. First time appearance, making this look easy. And this is certainly not easy. These are difficult pilots, as we can see, as Roarak trying to get an angle on one of these in a very unfavorable situation here. Looks like we have a 1v2 going on. Some team members flying back to see how the fight's going here. Fast, trying to get an angle on Roarak. Roarak spinning around, trying to hit one of these players. Likely trying to get an angle on Fast. Fast got a bit more firepower and a little bit easier to hit than the Roarak Interceptor, but you can't leave yourself open for that RGI. If that Roarak Interceptor gets on you, you're going to have a bad time. But Fast is not giving them any ground whatsoever, as Roarak's just trying to find an angle here, coming back. You can see, got some shields back in the interim, but again, no armor, just one or two bad weapon rolls away from being, oh, like I said, there was one bad weapon roll, and Roarak is out of here. That is, in fact, a win for Team Craig. Fast having a really strong performance that match, as we can see them here. Well, it looks like we're underway as the Rick starts moving out. Let's move out here to Demmas, flying in. Already on the Dooney, not giving them any breathing room. Cogig, again, a very intimidating pilot in that Dune Lizard. Oh, already seeing some shield flares on Cogig there, I think. It's always troubling when you all run the same Dooney chassis, but it looks like Findley's already out of here in the Ricks, unfortunately. Big chassis, so you always have to be mindful of these 1v4s. When you are flying large chassis, people always keep a close eye on you. Let's see how we are doing over here, though, with Demmas. Taking a small hit to their shields, but nothing too crazy. See if we can get somebody else. Yep. Here we are with Tirabaka, Tyrell, taking some hits. Less than 50% chassis already gone. That wasn't my fault. In fact, Demmas in the Vaxi hasn't taken a hit yet. Excellent job of chasing down people right now. Here we go. Spicer in that Actus. Trying to support teammates here, moving in, as we get Demmas up close and personal here in that Vaxi. It's got a heavy sick. That's Spicer behind them. Demmas turning around here, trying to get Weezer in this V-Wing, but that's hard to do. Weezer doing some evasive maneuvers here, trying to get around there. I'm chasing down this X-Wing, which I believe is Kani. A little bit wider here. You can see Demmas flying out, trying to turn around and get an angle. Spinning around. Kani's just giving him hell right now. Oh, Spicer's coming in that heavy sick. Oh, that's Viper. You guys can't have the same sounding name. Illegal. Fight's moving away from one of our cameras here, so we're going to stick to this one as the fight continues to move away from this one. It's a tough one. Let's zoom in here. See, Demmas still hasn't taken a hit on their Vaxi, doing an excellent job of providing support and getting some hits in there. Oh, that's another one down. I think they finally got Kani. I think that was the X-Wing, it looked like. Yeah, Demmas definitely a new pilot, but obviously not looking like it here as they're putting up quite a bit of fight. There's their first hit on their shields. Yeah, that was Kani just dropped out. Looks like we have Spicer and Demmas left on Team Kani against Team Cogig's Viper and Weezer. Demmas having a little bit hard time now that more pressures on them as Kani is out of the way, so attention is moving to them in the Vaxi as Spicer in that Actus is going to be hard to hit. But Spicer has taken a few hits so far. As this fight continues to spiral further and further out slowly. It's their closest view of the action right now. Oh, somebody's out of here. Looks like that was Spicer actually in the Actus. That means Demmas is up here alone in a 1v2 against Viper and Weezer. A 1v1 against either of these opponents is hard to think about it, but a 1v2 very hard as Demmas takes some more hits there. Trying to turn around and get a hit on one of them. Very difficult chassis to hit on their own, let alone with excellent pilots behind them. Demmas doing a great job of holding their own here, not giving them any free shots, that's for sure. Ooh, but there goes Demmas, and that is a win for Team Cogig. Viper and Weezer are holding it down. Looks like we are underway, though, as Ratsmacker starts moving out here. Here's Kiara Kitty flying out in the backside as the teams meet up in the middle. Coming around the asteroid, trying to get an angle. Turning around. I see these blasters flying as Kiara Kitty's out there trying to get an angle. Here's Ratsmacker up close, getting shields on somebody as soon as I turn over. Fighting around this asteroid. A lot of use of coverage in this match. Ratsmacker taking a hit, though. Ooh, second hit, down to armor. Getting chased down by Sneezo. Sneezo not giving Ratsmacker any breaks here. So Ratsmacker tries to get Sneezo off. Team members coming in with support, though, as we see some damage done to Sneezo right now. Moving over to Sneezo right here. You can see 26% shields, already into armor and getting down to systems and chassis as Sneezo tries to get his bearings back. Turning again, shield flare on Sneezo right there. Turning around, trying to use that maneuverability of the Star Viper and heavy firepower to get some hits on some people here. Kiara Kitty has not been hit yet, by the way. I just want to point that out. As Ratsmacker has not been hit since we moved off of them, finding their energy and turning around. Sneezo trying to get an angle and support his team members here. Move over to Kiara Kitty, who's getting dogged down. See a missile go out there, but I think some chaff went out. Yeah, we see some missiles definitely being used during these matches. Kiara takes a light hit on their shields. Zooming in here, we can see this fight skirmish just balling up right here as Kiara's trying to get an angle there while also dodging some incoming fire, doing an excellent job of holding their own. Turn around, shield flare again on Kiara. They are trying their best to hit this Vaxi, but they just can't pin Kiara Kitty down as Kiara Kitty gets on the outside of this fight, trying to get some shots in. Moving back to Sneezo and the Star Viper. It's had some time to recover some of his shields here. Hasn't been hit since taking some nasty hits earlier. But it looks like Team Slayer has lost one of their pilots. That is the first loss for Team Slayer, and Slayer's out of it too. It's down to Kiara Kitty and Ratsmacker up against Sneezo that we're seeing right here. Here's Ratsmacker still holding out. Took some more shield and armor hits since we last looked, but still holding an another tap to the armor and shields. Not quite down to systems. Again, there more shield loss. Ratsmacker needs to shake off Team Vasune really soon here. Kiara's still looking healthy in the backside. Got the shields back. Getting chased down, though. Trying to get an angle on their pursuer. And gets a hit in there. Nice turnaround. Trying to do it. Trying to fight here a little bit. Maybe waiting for some boost to come back. Ooh, another nice hit. Kiara Kitty putting in work here in the backside. Moving a little bit far out from the fight. Checking back in with Sneezo and the Star Viper. Shields back. Trying to give a... Yep, coming in for Kiara right there in the backside. I see some hits going off. Trying to give some help as Kiara is having a... Putting up a really good fight against Sneezo's team members there in Team Vasune. So we see them dogpiling up right here. Coming out. Ooh, there's a shield flare. Checking back with Kiara Kitty. No armor damage yet. Just lost some shields. Combination of good rolls in Kiara's favor, but also probably got a pretty thick shield in there. But we just lost Sneezo. Sneezo bit the dust. Going back to Kiara, the fight's moving out from us, though. Don't have a great angle on anyone left here, but it looks like it's just two members. It's a 2v2 as this fight continues to move out from us. Get an update here on Vasune and the aggressor. Shields half, armor's almost gone, chassis at 11%, taking some big hits, so being very careful in their approaches. It looks like maybe Rat Smacker's on his tail right now. Keeping that added pressure up, which is something you definitely want to do on Vasune. You don't want him to recover, you don't want him to come back in. He's going to get that shots lined up for his gunner, assuming his gunner's weapon's still operational. He's taking a lot of chassis damage. I'm not seeing shots come out here from Kiara's angle. I think Vasune's lost his tail gun and is just fighting for his life here. Trying to give time for his team member to come in. Oh, there goes Vasune, though. Kiara and Ratsmacker are turning this around for Team Slayer. I think that's it. I think that's a win for Team Slayer. Little Kiara Kitty and Ratsmacker, new to SBP, but dragging their team across the finish line, eliminating the remnants of Team Vasune. Excellent flying by both pilots. Sometimes being a jack of all trades is really useful, especially if you're flying ship chassis where people are less familiar with them. Obviously, the aggressor is a ship chassis that it's not uncommon, but I've seen some people take some what some would call unusual picks to SBP and then do really well just because people aren't used to flying against that chassis. It's the same thing like in ground PvP in this game. Yes, there is your meta picks. They're strong for a reason, but sometimes, oh, you're running some weird build? Okay, but you know what's better? Watching Kayar go out as the round starts. Get Tuck over here on optics in the V-Wing. Coming around on the Annabelle's Dooney. Ooh, Telios' Havoc taking a lot of hits there as they fly by. Gonna try and turn around and recover from that one. Doesn't look like anyone was able to chase them. So good pressure. Telios might be able to come around and recover from that. Annabelle taking some hits. Tuck in the V-Wing doing work, and Barrett not giving up any leeway in his advanced X-Wing either. Kayar also doing great. I haven't taken no hits so far. Ooh, looks like we might have lost somebody there. That or someone's taking some big hits. As I see, I believe it's Roarak's. Oh no, Dookie's Dooney taking some hits. Roarak, of course, up here in stock X-Wing as well. Let's go over to Barrett here. Ooh, and as soon as I do, Barrett is eliminated. I think actually eliminated by Kayar here in the backside, as I saw Barrett's space dust get clogged up in their intakes. Telos taking some big hits there from Tuck. We'll move and watch Tuck here. Telos taking some other hits there. Telios out of it. Getting chased down by, it looked like Dookie and the Dune Lizard. Getting some fat hits in there. That Havoc was rotated in a way where the widest part of the hitbox was facing Dookie and just set Dookie up for some really good follow-ups. And it looks like Tuck just blasted somebody to bits there as well as I'm explaining this other matchup. Tuck now has some free breathing room here to come around. Kayar here in the backside. Let's zoom in. Get really close. Kayar in a tight fight. Got Dookie up on him. Dookie the pilot, of course. Turning around. Doing a really great job. Taking a hit there, but under pressure as Dookie is trying to really get a hit on Kayar. A lot of firepower in that Dune Lizard. You need to be wary of it. But Dookie having the support of his team members here, so Kayar not having any options. Gonna need to break out of this fight. Ooh, but actually gets a very good hit in there. And eliminates none less but Dookie. So Kayar turning the tables on his pursuer. Not leaving anything a chance. Coming in here close to the V-Wing. Tuck having a tough fight here against Kayar. Ooh, taking a hit. Another, 3% chassis on Tuck. I think a missile just flew in there, just a little tap, as we were seeing earlier in chat mentioned. Those R2s are good finishing people off, but Tuck taking a blaster hit there. I think that might be it for Team Roarak. Team Aenema coming out of this. Kayar, also new to SBP, but obviously a contender of their own. Seeing some really good shots here on the broadcast from them. Excellent flying from all pilots, though. Saw some really smart maneuvering, some good target picking. So we definitely are seeing a lot of close matches here up in Yavin's space. But we are getting ready underway here as our pilots head in. Spicer's heading in that Jedi Starfighter. Oop, I think somebody already bit the dust. I think we had somebody lost in the opening there, but Spicer's chasing down Craig in that TIE bomber, and that big red painted ship does make it visually easy for me to see. So we appreciate that here. Checking over at Casey Nar in the RGI, taking a hit, but falling closely behind. Oh, we see some big hits on, Kytheon in the Vaxi over here. And they just got eliminated, unfortunately. So we're going to move back to Casey Nar, who was also eliminated. Whoa. Uh-oh. Team Kani's out for blood this round. Absolutely no mercy. Winner 1v3 with Craig, I think, here. Yeah, I think Team Craig took, or Team Kani took an early loss with Kani in, no, other way around. Bass, I think, took an early loss from Team Craig in their X-Wing, which put it down to a 4v3 immediately, which put Team Craig on the back. So right now we have this unfortunate situation for Craig, which it looks like, yeah, Team Kani was able to capitalize on. Some rounds are just like that, though. You just have rounds where, you have people like Kani here who move out and move in and just pick somebody off really early. So turning that into 3v4 immediately was very advantageous for their team. Looks like we're moving in, though. Watching I Spy here come in with that Star Viper. Let's zoom in, see if they can get an early pick. Coming around the asteroid, taking their time to pick a shot. Flying in close. We see them dogging somebody down right now as this fight is very much underway here at SBP. With Maddie here. In that TIE Aggressor. Again, no gunner. I see Slayer and the Bomber there trying to get an angle, but someone's trying to take advantage of that, which they do. And the TIE Defender taking a bunch of hits out of Slayer right there. I believe that was Ryylla in the TIE Defender. Slayer caught with his Bomber Bay doors open there as I Spy comes in hot in that Star Viper right next to team member Ryylla in that TIE Defender. Ooh, taking out Slayer, finishing him off. Ryylla's pass on him earlier was just really hard to recover from. Putting more pressure on Maddie here in the TIE Aggressor to bring it up for his team. Little Kiara Kitty and Ratsmack are still in the mix with their Vaxi and Royal Guard Interceptor, though. So we will see how this will be going as we go back here to I Spy in the Star Viper, turning around, trying to get an angle. Having a little mess up right here. Yeah, Ryylla running 2 Weapon 10s and Weapon 8 is filthy business. That is a lot of damage outgoing from that TIE Defender. As I Spy is dogfighting. Maddie is not taking a hit. I Spy is not taking a hit. Nokisa is taking some hits over here. And as soon as I go over, Nokisa is eliminated, unfortunately. Let's go back to... Ooh. Getting some hits there on... I think that was Little Kiara Kitty who takes some hits. Maddie's taking some hits there. Check this out. 26% shields, 50 armor, 72 to chassis. Not looking great for Maddie. As... Let's see here. Oh, here we go. Someone we haven't had on camera yet. Maximani Mino. Not going to get that right, but in the Vaxi, it's already taken some hits, down to 50% armor, less than 50% shields. Trying to turn around and get an angle here. Maximino, a member of Team Ryylla. Maddie coming around from the outside, trying to get an angle here as they're all chasing down the Royal Guard Interceptor, which would be Maddie's team member Ratsmacker. Looks like Little Kiara Kitty's out. Ooh, there goes Ratsmacker, though. Maximano Mino and Ryylla and I Spy just getting the layup there, and it looks like that might be it for Maddie as well. And yes, it is. That is a win for Team Ryylla, only losing 1 team member. So excellent piloting by Team Ryylla. They will be taking the round. Out here, we see Necreum in the Delta 7 Aether Sprite, a unique chassis to SWG Legends. It is similar in stats to the V-Wing, obviously no S-foils. But it looks like we're actually underway here as I start talking about that, as Necreum starts flying in that Aether Sprite. going against Team Kani. First engagement rolling out here. Ooh, someone taking some big hits. Almost space dust on one of those. Coming over here to our other angle on Kani, who's taking some big hits themselves, moving in and around. Everyone's on Kani right now. Kani trying to shake him off. Everyone's afraid of Kani, and that advanced escalating. They have 3 weapons in that sucker. Lots of firepower. Turning around. Trying to put that slide. There's an IR2 that goes wide. Someone trying to get a little bit of extra damage there. Not a bad idea, but some of these pilots need to be hot on their chaff. If you're releasing the IR2s, ooh, yeah, close range like that one that happened in the upper left. Might have missed that one on camera, but see another IR2 out. You are all relentless. You are reloading after every round, aren't you all? You're at the space station loading up. Nice sliding by Kani here. Good evasive piloting. That Dooney taking a few hits there, though. And it looks like Vasune themselves is already out of that TIE aggressor, which that TIE aggressor is scary. So Team Kani doing an excellent job of prioritizing it. Both ROPs still in it, but I think just taken out there at the bottom of our screen, unfortunately. As we have Kani up here close and personal on the camera right now. That Vaxi still in the fight. Is on Team Kani. The only thing left for Team Vasune is Necreum and Sneezo, it looks like. Which it looks like they are on top of Kani right now, trying to get that Advanced X-Wing's firepower out of here. We come out to a wider angle. We see Necreum and that Aether Sprite not taking a hit, but dogging down Kani as best they can. And over here on the next shot, we have Sneezo taking a lot of hits. No shields, 10% armor, 54% chassis. One wrong move, and Sneezo's out of here, which will leave Necreum with an unenviable 1v4 position, which now he's in as Sneezo's taken out. Necreum here in the Delta 7 already at 50% shield and down to armor. In a 1v4 against Team Kani, against Kani, Spicer, Tyrell, and Demmas, this is not a good position to be in for Necreum. Necreum taking some hits there. Down to 20% shields. 50, oh, and out of it. That is a sweep for Team Kani. Not giving any mercy to Team Vasune. Looks like we're moving in, though. So let's move back here to Rojas. Hanging back in this TIE Defender, letting his team move forward a little bit. Trying to get an angle. There's Ryylla actually towards the bottom of the screen. Moving around. Ooh, Rojas already taking some big hits there. Let's zoom out a little bit. See the skirmish going on. Team trying to support Rojas. Get him off his tail. Ooh, Rojas is out, though. Team Ya is not letting that TIE Defender go uncontested, but here's really under the Y-Wing. He's not taking a hit yet. Gunner Baramy already bearing down on his opponents as they fight around this rock here, as we have Raikat in the Star Viper. Going to turn around here and try and get some angles as we see them getting an angle in there and Ryylla, but it looks like Team Ya has already lost a member as well. As we see Raikat take some hits there in the Star Viper, turning around, going into a chase. It's likely a chase led by Ryylla here in the Y-Wing. He's trying to get an angle and get out, using that speed modifier that's been buffed, like I mentioned, since last year, to get them in a chase and lure him in so his team can make the most of it. Let's go back to Raikat here, who we have a little bit of a closer perspective of. He was turning around, trying to get an angle there on, I think that is the Vaxi. Yeah, Raikat moving and getting some good hits in there. Turning around again. Ooh, taking an unfortunate hit there, though, as we change angles back to Ryylla as I try and get you more angles here. The Booty Hunter himself in the Bell. Chasing down Ryylla. Ryylla trying to, get him off, but no. Sir Dr. Surgeon has hunted Ryllian's 2-point booty. As a reminder, when you have a gunner, your ship goes from 1 point to 2 points. As the Booty Hunter goes back in for more. Not done yet. Team Ya still in it. With Ya themselves in the Star Viper, still in contention here. And we have Rough Rider up close here in the Carax. Already taking some hits. Let's get a little wider actually on this perspective. And we see this fight going on with Yavin in the background. You can see Falix's Bellabub chasing down Rough Rider right now, trying to put Rough Rider out of it, down to 89% chassis. Basically almost no shields and no armor. And there he goes. Let's go over Team Ya, who is the last member standing as Ya themselves and the Cowgirl. 50% armor, 63% shields, now 50 shields, 18 shields, taking a hit there from, I think, an IR2 that just was thrown out. And there goes Ya. That is a win for Team Falos. That was close, though. That came down to a 2v1 at the end. Team Ya and Team Falos, some of the stronger team showing so far in the tournament, and for obvious reasons. Excellent pilots on both sides. All right, moving in. OPU. Oh, there's actually already a loss. Craig took somebody out in the opening here from Team Aenema. Oh, there's another ship down. That was Craig himself. So Craig traded in the opening, took somebody out, but then Team Aenema responded. Took out Annabelle Craftly, so took out a very tricky Dune Lizard, but then took out Craig's bomber right off the bat. So now we're down to a 3v3 with OPU here in the Actus, the Jedi Starfighter. Seeing this skirmish. Down to 50% shields, though. Dangerous position to be in. 30% shields, taking another hit. Get some hits off there on the Royal Guard Interceptor, though, which I believe, yeah, that was key from Team Craig. OPU looking for an angle, though. Fast is not taking a hit, though. Fast out here in the X-Wing. Very heavily loaded ship. Fast has some excellent weapons in here. If you get hit by Fast, you're going to have a bad time. That's what may have happened to Craig. Oh, but Fast taking a few hits there to the tail. It looked like. As it looks like that was actually OPU here. As they're dueling each other right in front of my face on this camera. OPU trying to keep the pressure on Fast. Fast trying to turn around and get some big hits in there. But that JSF is hard to hit and carries a good amount of firepower with 2 weapon slots. And it looks like Fastest team's coming in to give him some support and actually does hit OPU. OPU still hasn't taken armor damage, getting really lucky on which shields are hitting when. Fast, though, still down to lost armor on one side. Shields are slowly coming back as this fight continues. Seems like we are still in a 2v2. I think off camera we had 2 people eliminated that, or they're dueling somewhere. Fast is not giving up any room. OPU's shields are coming back, it looks like. Both equal distance from our current viewing locations. Going back to OPU here. Ooh, taking the hit. Finally down to armor. 69% armor. Nice. As OPU is coming in to try and put somebody out. Just having a hard time getting around on Fast. Fast, excellent in that X-Wing. Fully loaded and difficult to hit here in these fights. As the fight continues to spiral outwards. Oh, Fast taking some big hits. Fast out of armor here. Let's go over. 28% chassis. Barely holding on. As they're starting to feel the pressure now, but 2,500 meters out from us, so we're getting a little hard to follow the action here. So let's go back to OPU. And it looks like Fast is out of it. They put an end to Fast's rampage. As now it becomes a 2v1. And we're witnessing here from OPU's perspective. Ooh, looks like someone just bit the dust, though. Is that it? I believe that's it. I think that's a win for Team Aenema. Team Greg taking the loss there, but excellent piloting by everybody. Some quick exchanges in the beginning really set the pace of the fight with some of the heavier firepowers and trickier pilots being eliminated, with Craig and his TIE Bomber being the heaviest thing on his team. And then Annabelle, Craft Lady, and that Dune Lizard is always a tough opponent. But with that, Sayrin, aka Team Ryylla, moving in. This fight's about to start. Let's get a wide angle here with Tirabaka, aka Tyrell, already taking some shield loss on his Dune Lizard. Taking some hits, but now in the action here. As we see the fight is underway. Ooh, some big hits on somebody off camera, but also Tirabaka taking some big hits here as well. Trying to evade his opponents. Getting another hit there. Ooh, Shield Flare. Got lucky on that one. Shield Flares are basically near misses. Another Shield Flare. Tyrell's got to put some space between these opponents or get supported by his team. Ooh, but he is out of here. Let's move over back to Ryylla, who is locking it down. TIE Defender. I've not taken a hit. That's a lot of firepower there. 2 Weapon 10s and Weapon 8. Maximano actually in this really good duel right now. Put some hits on him. Yeah, Maximano is getting in there. Another one. Max taking somebody out from Team Kani, turning around to support their team members. Speaking of which, again, Ryylla up here in the TIE Defender as this fight moves a little bit away from the engagement point. Let's see if I can find a better angle here. As I do, here is Max again in the backside, already taking out one member of Team Kani. Ooh, another one down. Not quite sure who that was. I think that was another member of Team Kani, though. That might be it. I think Team Ryylla. That's it. Team Ryylla with the W. I don't think they lost a single team member that time. Great fight. Fast and definitely furious on that one. It looks like we're ready and we're heading out. Kiara Kitty here in the backside, member of Team Slayer. Putting up excellent fights today. Already in. Spinning on, trying to get Craig out of there, that bomber. This is TIE Bomber to TIE Bomber. Craig getting dogged down by Slayer, Kiara Kitty. Looks like Ratsmacker and Maddie are trying to run interference. Give some space to Kiara and Slayer to get rid of Craig, who is spooning that red TIE Bomber. Ratsmacker coming in to put pressure on. We see Maddie there, the TIE Aggressor, also moving in. Kiara's taking some hits, though. Trying to get some space and get her team to support her here, as Maddie and Ratsmacker still provide really great support. Slayer up here, the TIE Bombers, has lost some shields, but nothing to armor yet. And then Kessie Nar, Team Craig, has not taken any hits yet, but definitely keeping the pressure on. It looks like someone just got space dusted from Team... Yeah, that was Craig. They finally put Craig down. Craig doing excellent work, but now attention is turned to Slayer and the TIE Bomber. We lost our TIE Bomber. We want you to lose theirs, but it looks like someone just got lost in that engagement from... I think that was from Team Craig. As Slayer moves out here to turn around to get a better angle in that TIE Bomber. As you come back to Kiara Kitty, who just hit somebody, knocked somebody out from Team Craig. That might be it for Team Craig, and that was Kessie in the RGI who was last up there, but Kiara Kitty got lock on there and just blasted her. No losses from Team Slayer again this match. Clean sweep on Team Craig. Okay, it looks like we're moving in. Both Rops here in the backside for Team Vasune, moving in against Team Ryylla. Seeing a wide angle engagement here. Vasune in the Aggressor. Somebody already hitting a shield flare on Defender. That should be Ryylla themselves. That Aggressor you see firing in 2 different directions right now as, again, Vasune has a gunner in that. Ooh, I Spy already bit the dust from Vasune there. Got a good hit on him, but I think Vasune's gunner punished him for that follow. And Vasune just got punished. We're going to watch both Rops here, and the Vaxi hasn't gotten touched yet. But he's going to try and get some revenge for Vasune as we try and get a different angle here. As we see Seren, aka Ryylla in the TIE Defender. Yeah, it's taking some hits. See some missiles going out there. As both Rops holding it down for Team Vasune against Team Ryylla. Gotta be careful here. Rylla's got some heavy weapons in there. 2 10s and an 8. Taking some shield damage, though. The pressure's on. Both Rops also taking some hits here, as we can see in this angle. 50% shields, 79% armor. A few bad rolls, and we're going to be down in that chassis in a blink of the eye here. And we keep seeing these missiles go out. That's some good ship damage, or could finish somebody off if they're not careful. Going back to Rilla and the TIE defenders, we get a good angle with Yavin in the background. Ooh, taking some big hits there. Another big hit. That is on both Roths. Both Roths down to 35% shields there as we watch Rilla chase him down. That other Vaxi out there, I believe, is Maximanio. Necrium should be out there still in the Aether Sprite. Trying to support both Rops here in the Vaxi. See if I can get another angle, and sure can. Here's Necrium in that RGI right when both Rops gets taken out. Necrium, last man standing for Team Vasune in a very unenviable 1v3. He was in the situation in an earlier matchup we saw when he was in 1v4, but there goes his shields, there goes his armor, there goes his chassis, and he's potted. That is a win for Team Ryylla. Team Vasune did take out one team member, but otherwise, that was a strong showing for Team Ryylla. All right, looks like we're off. Cogig here in the Dune Lizard. Team Cogig versus Team Roarak. Flying in fast and furious here as we get a good fight underway. Let's take a wider angle here with Dookie in the Dune Lizard. Ooh, I think he just got a good hit there on Finley. Viper's also already taking some hits in the heavy sick, down to 50% shield, 74% armor. Cogig also taking some hits here, as we can see, less than 50% on shields. I think Finley just took another big hit there, but Finley's holding in there. Dookie in the Dooney is not taking a hit yet, and he's after that Rix. He does not want Finley's big barrels giving him any problems, and he won't, as Dookie takes out Finley, as we see Viper here turning around to try and punish Roarak in that X-Wing. Viper trying to get an angle and be very cautious of what's going on here. Dookie finally has a Dooney on his tail here, which is Cogig. Cogig got some hits in there. Cogig taking a hit. Cogig down to 50 shields, 50 armor, a 92% chassis. Flying out, trying to get a recovery here. Dookie flying out. Viper staying in the thick of it, keeping the pressure on, trying to make some space for Weezer to come in and help. As now to Viper and Weezer again, this is a trend we've been seeing on Team Cogig, where Viper and Weezer are bringing in the home stretch here. But this is a tough matchup as Viper's already been hit once. Team Roarak has only lost Roarak themselves, which was very recent. And Viper here is doing their best to stay in. Let's see if we can get somebody else here on camera, and we do. We see Barrett in the Advanced X-Wing, already at 50 armor, 48% chassis. One bad shot away. Viper took another hit. Dookie and that Dune Lizard's getting some space there to set up some shots. You can actually see it pretty clear from this angle, so let's go over to Dookie here in the Dune Lizard. Down to systems a little bit. Chassis looking okay, though, but shield 38, armor 50. Turning around, coming back in. See someone taking some hits there. Dookie trying to capitalize on that grouping up, but they all break away from him as they keep turning this fight around. Barrett low, Viper low. Everyone's slugging it out. Dookie out of it. Going back to Viper here. 31 shield, 24 armor, 18% chassis. You just got to scratch him and he's out. Barrett's out. Is Tuck still up here? Is Tuck having a duel out in the middle of nowhere? What is going on, Tuck? Is Tuck just dogging down Weeza over here in a 1v1? But yeah, it was that, but not anymore. Here's Weeza. It hasn't been hit yet. Now it's Weeza and Viper, a heavy sick and a V-Wing against Tuck. Tuck rocking the V-Wing themselves. This is a light interceptor fight, and Tuck just gets 2v1. That is a hard position to be in, everybody. There you go, potting Viper and Weeza, bringing it across the finish line again for Team Cogig. Putting in the work. This is not the first round we saw where Viper and Weeza were the last two standing. But anyways, we're off. Team Aenema versus Team Kani. See Tellus here in the Havoc. Flipping that big beast around, trying to get some of that heavy firepower on these ships. Ooh, Annabelle, you're taking some hits there. As Demmas trying to fly in, give some support. But if we move over to Annabelle Craft Lady here, you can see Already 17% armor, 50% shields. They have lost armor on one of their sides, almost gone to the other side. Barely standing after that first volley, but let's get a closer angle here with Tellus and the Havoc. Trying to chase down this other... Ooh, no. They got the tables turned on him. I had to pause there because I held my breath. I'm like, what the hell? Demmas in the backside taking some big hits there. Kani's already out of the round, by the way. Team Captain Kani in the X-Wing, big factor in these matches. So Team Aenema not giving any breath. Annabelle's out of it. Whoa, what the hell? I blinked. What happened? Where did everyone go? Is it over? Who won? Kayar? Kayar's still out here. Here we are. I think Kayar's stuck in a 1v2? No, a 2v1. Tyr Baka is left alive. Just dogging him down. This is 1v2. Tyrell can turn this around. Excellent pilot. Formerly of won previous SBPs. Zoom in here. This is our best angle right now. It's Kayar in the Vaxi with, it looks like Opiu, trying to get Tyrell out of here, but Tyrell not giving an inch. Let's see if I can get Tyrell's stats up. He's too far away from some of my other ships. Yeah. We are just here with Kayar, seeing how this goes. See if Opiu's taking any hits. Opiu is at 36% shields, 97% armor. Ooh, some big flashes down there. Team Kani, no. That's Spicer. Spicer's the one down there in the JSF. 38% shields, 59% armor. I misspoke earlier. No wonder I couldn't find Tyrell. Spicer holding it down in 1v2. This is somebody who can definitely turn the odds around. Uh-oh. We're losing them. We're losing visuals. They're too far out. They're spinning out of control. They are out there. They are gone. This happens every once in a while, folks. I'm gonna have to wait and see how this turns up. They are just gone. Yeah, still no visuals here on any of the cameras. Oh wait, I got one. Spicer's still in it, not letting go. This might hit the 5-minute mark. We have not had a match today, I think, hit the 5-minute mark yet. Just way out there. Gone again. All right, bye. Got optics again on another camera. Let's move over. Spicer still in it. In that JSF, not giving up. Gone. Oh, we got one. Oh, who's moving back? I think time's up. I think they ran out of time. So, yep, that's 0. Time's up. Team Aenema will not be getting the round win point, but they will be leaving with 3 points from that round, having eliminated 3 members of Team Kani. Team Kani leaving with 2 points, having eliminated 2 members of the other team. Spicer keeping it lock on, not giving them that free extra round win point, though, is a big deal. Again, at the last server best pilot event, we had a 3-way tie for first, all with 28.5 points. So every point matters. You do not want to be giving up any. Looks like we're going in. Here's the Booty Slayer. Heading on in as we turn over Spade Bop here in the X-Wing, turning around as the fight starts. Ooh, we see some hits already. Oh, there's some hits on, I believe, Tyr Baka, who Spade Bop's on. Yep, that's Tyr Baka at 34% shields, 36. As Spade Bop is trying to dog him down. Hard to hit. Ooh, but Spade Bop taking a big hit from Tyr Baka. Spade Bop trying to get out, try and get behind Tyr Baka as they get in this turn fight here. As Falos themselves not taking a hit yet. We're going to keep an eye here on Spade Bop. We'll zoom in a little bit here. Spade Bop trying to turn around. Ooh, another hit by Tyr Baka. 8% chassis. One more hit and Spade Bop is out of here. Dangerous, dangerous, so dangerous. Tyr Baka is on it. Tyr Baka wants to get this X-Wing out of here. He knows that Spade Bop has good firepower in here. and is scary left alone. If left alone, Spadebop will go out, turn around, line up some shots for some passes and do some hit and runs, but can turn fight in this regular X-Wing, which has very good speed modifiers and turn modifiers. But there he goes, taking out as Tierbaka gets another hit in, I believe. It looks like the Star Viper, which is a Raikat, came in to try and support and actually executes on that support, taking out Tierbaka, revenge shot. Again, Spadebop and Raikat are both on staff, so maybe there's a little bit of vengeance there, but we're over here looking at the Booty Slayer. Falos in the Bellabub. See if I can get the last member of Team Kani, as I believe it's just Spicer, who just actually was detonated, so that might be the end of the round. That's a win for Team Falos. All right, looks like we're moving in. Let's check out Aldi's here in the Advanced X-Wing, moving in with Team Ya, one of the strongest performing teams this tournament so far. Zoom out a little bit and see this skirmish. Aldi's going in, taking some shots, moving out, but it looks like Sneezo's chasing him down. Aldi's trying to get Sneezo off his tail. Ooh, someone taking a big hit there near the asteroid. Might have bonked off of it. Aldi's took some hits from Sneezo. And now it looks like Bothrops is on top of Aldi's. Aldi's turning around and getting a shot in Bothrops there. As let's move over to Sneezo, who we got better angle on here. Trying to hit Ya, trying to shake some people off. Yeah, 50% shields, 80% armor, 89% armor here on Sneezo. Ya, I think, just fired a missile, but went straight into that asteroid. Ooh, Sneezo taking a hit there. Almost zero shoots down. Oh, Sneezo is out of here. Moving over to Ya and the other Star Viper. Looking for their next target, as Aldi's is down to 42% shields, 49% armors, 97% systems. Chassis looking fine, though. Let's see if I can't find... Rough Rider right here in the Carax. 50% shields. Trying to pick a target here. Aldi's right here again in the Advanced X-Wing. Ooh, someone just took a big hit up there. Oh, that was another player eliminated from that skirmish, and that was Aldi's. Look at Rough Rider again here, who is trying to dog down, it looks like Vasune. I think Vasune's still in this fight. Vasune's seen a lot of early eliminations being dogged up here, but we can see Vasune here. 12% shield, 72% armor. Tail gunner weapon is still in it. Can cover his hind, which you see here as he's trying to fire off at Rough Rider and try to get Rough Rider off his tail. Somebody just bit the dust, though, and that, of course, was Vasune, who we were just watching. Going back to Rough Rider, spinning around. Actually, let's go over to Ya here. Ya up close. Team Ya dominating this round. Both Rops, last one up with the Vaxi. Trying to lock it down here for Team Vasune, but there's a lot of time left in this round. I don't know how long both Rops can hang around in this 1v3 with Ya, Rough Rider, and Ryylla in the Y-Wing. That is a dangerous set of 3 to be sitting around here. Ryylla also having a gunner. As you can see, those blaster trails firing out from the Y-Wing at all angles, as Ryylla is keeping an angle on both Rops, trying to catch him, hanging out. Oh, there's a hit, though. Over here, we see Ryylla coming out from the side, not having to worry about this team fight that's going on over here, right to the left here as we zoom out. As you can see them all on both Rops. Ryylla just trying to step a hit. Oh, I think both Rops just took another hit there. Sure did. Down to 39% armor, 39% shields, 50% armor. Armor's gone on one side. Oh, that's it for both Rops. That was a tough 1v3 situation, but hung out for a very long time. Excellent piloting. All right, well, off to the start. Let's take a look at Roarak here. Antonai in the stock X-Wing flying in to support Dookie in the Dune Lizard there. Already seeing some shield flares as Barrett is taking a light hit to the shields. Oh, someone's already out of it. Oh, that was Barrett in the Advanced X-Wing, already gone. Had some high rolls against them. Unfortunate. Let's see here. We still have, ooh, big hit on Antonai. Or no, Anti got a big hit on somebody. Oh, there was a big hit on Anti, literally 100-0. Let's move over to our last X-Wing here on Optics, which is Kani, which that actually, I think that's the match. I think Team Kani just came out with heavy firepower and had some really big rolls on Team Roarak there. Just 100-0'd him. That was merciless. Looks like we're underway here, so I'm going to focus on the matches. Nokisa moves in here. Move out to our wider angle here as the teams start meeting up in this fight. As Maximiliano in the Vaxi of Team Ryylla, looking to pick off as many fighters from Team Ya as possible, especially Ryllian. Ryllian worth 2 points. But also, Team Ya is right above Team Ryylla, so they don't want to give them any free points. Maximano taking 2 hits there. 30% shields, 77% armor. Ryllian hasn't taken a hit yet. That's dangerous. Now there is Nokisa, though. So Nokisa putting on the pressure. Maximano. Ooh, somebody just got dusted. None of them were people we are watching, though, right now, so I'm not quite sure who it was. That was someone from Team Ya. Team Ya's already lost Aldes. As we stay here with Max, who's trying to get an angle here. Got to be mindful of Ya's Star Viper right there. And as I say that, Max gets some big hits on them, but also takes out some big hits there. No one we watched has been eliminated yet. I think that might have been... Yes, that was Ryylla and the TIE Defender who just got eliminated. Ooh, but it looks like Max just got eliminated as well. So let's move over here to Nokisa in the RGI. Rogard Interceptor still going. See if I can get a closer angle here on the engagement. Here's I Spy and the Star Viper, who just got finished off there. Nokisa still holding in, the last member of Team Ryylla. Team Ya looks like they have the potential to pull ahead of Team Falos if they don't lose another pilot. So if Nokisa takes out one pilot, that's going to dash Team Rylla's dreams here. This is a really close match. I don't even know what to say at this point other than check out Rough Rider. Only 83% damage on the armor, full shields. They need to take out Nokisa. Ya is out of here. It's just Rough Rider and Ryllian versus Nokisa. Nokisa doing their best. Trying to get another angle here. They're starting to spin a little bit out here, so we're just going to keep our eyes on Rough Rider as the fight moves a little bit away from us. See missiles going out, chaff being deployed. Nokisa at 53% shields, 58% armor. Team Yan needs to take out Nokisa if they want to secure first. At this rate, they're going to be tied? No. Oh, Nokisa's down. We might have a first place upset here. Wait till the score's finalized. But we might have a tie that might get broken by the time match. So the elapsed time average, so your average time match, that is the tiebreaker for scoring during this tournament. So very exciting. Rough Rider riding off into the sunset there. Potentially securing first place for his team. With the help, of course, of Ryllian in the Y-Wing. Somewhere. Lost sight of him. Looks like we're moving in. Let's take a look here at Finley. Coming in the Ricks. A lot of firepower there. See if they can put it to use, as they already have somebody on their tail. Taking a big hit to the tail, though. Gonna have to shake him off or ask for some help from their teammates here. As they turn around and try and get an angle on somebody, but they have the pressure on them. They are getting dogged down right now. By, I think that might be Viper in the heavy sick. Oops, somebody's out of it. The Havoc's out of it. Telos is out. That is already someone from Team Aenema out. Finley trying to come around, put that heavy firepower to use. Weezer, though, here in the V-Wing, you can see the little dot here. Zoom out, though, we can see a larger fight going on. That Dooney taking some hits. That Dooney, of course, being Annabelle. Aenema down to 35% shields in that Dune Lizard. As Weezer is trying to come in and secure an attack here as switch to Finley right as he gets destroyed. So let's go back to Annabelle's perspective here as the fight continues to move around the space. Each team has at least lost one fighter so far, and they're heavier ones too. So we're coming down to mediums and lights. Medium and interceptor class fighters duking it out here. Ooh, I see another big hit there. Yep, that was Weezer taking a hit down to 50% shield, 74% armor. Annabelle down to armor now, 81%. No chassis hits on either of these individuals yet, but it looks like that was Cogig just eliminated in the Dune Lizard. Annabelle's Dooney still hanging in there. Weezer as well in the V-Wing. So we zoom in here, see Weezer with Yavin in the background. Flying out, trying to get an angle on this person dogging them down. It looks like somebody was comped out there, so took him out. As Weezer in the V-Wing is putting in work here, trying to get... Ooh, it looks like someone actually got Weezer? That or the match was over. Nope, still going. See if we can get a closer angle here. And I do. That one. Opio in the Actus, JSF. See Annabelle in the Dune Lizard here. Annabelle, of course, still rocking 81% armor, 74% shields. Opio, 87% shields. Gets a good hit on Viper. It looks like Viper is the last one standing of Team Cogig in the Heavy Sick. At 51% shield, 72% armor. Just moved out of reach of my other camera. So let's see if I can get him up on optics here so we can get updates. Yeah, 53% shield, 72% armor. We have a Heavy Sick versus a JSF and a Dune Lizard. Annabelle and Opio versus Viper. 2v1. Viper, an excellent pilot. It's taken to top 3 placements in previous SBPs. If anyone's going to last for the remainder of the match, it's going to be Viper. Potentially even turning around, but this is going to be difficult. Doesn't have backup from Weezer this time. We know Viper and Weezer was securing a lot of these wins for Team Cogig on the tail here, but now it's just down to Viper alone in this Heavy Sick. Looks like we have some tubes going out here. And they're moving out of range, but it looks like it doesn't matter. Viper was eliminated by Team Aenema. That'll be a win for Team Aenema. Just waiting for the duels to be accepted so the round can go underway, which looks like we're underway here. Let's go back to Raikat. See these teams engage. Raikat out front in that Star Viper. Taking a target. Yep, going swoop. Nope, turning around. Don't want anyone on their tail. It looks like they're actually focusing on Kayar and Aenema. Don't want that Dune Lizard wreaking any havoc. I was expecting them to chase Tellus there in the Havoc, but if we go over to Kayar, get a good angle of the fight here. If you see Kayar turning around, trying to get an angle on what it looks like to be Falos, as Annabelle's also putting pressure on Falos there in the Bellabub. Wider angle here. See Rojas a little bit further out in the TIE Defender. Already taking some shield damage. Trying to turn around and get a good angle. Get some big hits there on somebody. Gonna go back to Raikat here, zoomed in a little bit. Coming in with that Star Viper. Good amount of firepower there. Definitely want to be watching out for all these vessels. People got some good ships. It looks like Tellus took some hits there finally in the Havoc. And now that the blood's in the water, we have Team Falos trying to capitalize on it and finish off this Havoc. Ooh, some big hits there on Kayar. Kayar already down to 50% shields, 44% chassis. Moving far out though to reset. It looks like someone just got dusted. That's someone being Kayar, actually, getting finished off there. Whoa, did I blink and everyone die? What happened? Yeah. Anyone left from Team Aenema? No, I think that's it. I think Team Falos just... so coordinated, they potted all of them like within 10 seconds of each other. I literally like, okay, there's one gone. Where did everyone else go? Clean sweep from Team Falos in the first round of the semifinals here at Location 1. Oop, it looks like we're moving in, so I want to zoom out. Maybe? Yep, looks like it. Tellus moving in. Already taking some big hits off the bat, though. 30% shields. Tellus out of there. Team Falos does not want that havoc in here as we look at OPU already down to 50 on the Actus, 13% on the chassis. OPU's taking some big hits on the JSF. Also of Team Aenema. Team Aenema already in a hard position, losing their havoc and their Jedi Starfighter already limping through this fight. Trying to recover his shields and be evasive here and try to get some cover left from Annabelle and Kayar, who are still up as well. Annabelle up there in that pink Dune Lizard. Moving over to Spadebop here in the X-Wing of Team Falos. Ooh, just blasted somebody. That might have been, yep, that was OPU. Team Aenema running out of help right now as we see Annabelle here in the Dune Lizard already taking some shield damage as soon as they switch over. Just getting outnumbered in a 2v4 situation, unenviable. Annabelle and Kayar left up here. Kayar down to 50% shields. Annabelle out of here. Let's go over to Kayar here in the Vaxi. 1v4. I don't know, everybody. This is a 1v4 against Falos, Spadebop, Raikat, and Rojas. I don't know. But Kayar, lock in. You got that Vaxi. You got some time. Let's see a miracle. As we see another angle here is Kayar. Ooh, Kayar gets blasted. Yeah, no, that's a really hard fight. Extremely difficult fight. But it looks like Team Falos secures the win here at location 1. Looks like we're ready and we're moving in, though. Ryylla heading in with the TIE Defender, opening up on Annabelle. Missing, though. Ryylla already taking some hits. Ryylla, 2 hits. Uh-oh. That's a lot of fire coming down on Ryylla. People don't want Ryylla up here in this TIE Defender. I don't blame them. Rilla's a strong pilot, and Rilla's out of it. Let's move over to another view here as we see Max hasn't taken a hit yet up here in the Vaxi, and neither has Annabelle, as I get another person up here on optics. Kayar in the backside, keeping pressure on him. Annabelle getting some shield flares there from Team Ryylla. Team Ryylla not want to go down. Ooh, someone just got taken out. That looks like that was... Yep. In fact, it was Max. Max is out of it. Annabelle Craft Lady hanging on here with 67% armor. Nothing to the chassis yet. Shields at 30. As we see Kayar coming in this Vaxi. Trying to get an angle here on this Royal Guard Interceptor, which, as we already know, is Nokia. Or Nokisa. Who is 38% shields, 58% armor. Kayar still in this Vaxi. Annabelle, again, here, coming around. You can see he has this fight. Comes in tight here. Just slugging it out here in Yavin space. Both teams want to secure their highest positions here. No one wants to lose. Remember, if you're third place, you still get 20% of the pot. The 225 million credit pot. Or 220. Something around there. No one's giving up an inch here. Annabelle taking a few more shield shots, but still hanging in there. Kayar, 71% shields, nothing on anything else. So still doing well. And Noki's starting to gain back shields. More. It's up to 325 mil. That's news to me, but it looks like someone just got dusted. That's going to hurt their chances of breaking that in, which I think that was... Yeah, that was I Spy. Team Ryylla on the back foot against Team Aenema here. As this fight starts to spiral out away from the center of the fight point. Out into space. There they go. Kind of equal distance here, but Annabelle still get... Oop, nope, never mind. We can still see Kayar here a little bit way out there. Oops, somebody else just got blasted. I think Kayar... Yep. Kayar just took out Nokisa. Nokisa out of here. Looks like that's a win for Team Aenema in round 1 of placement matches for 3rd and 4th. See what Talos does here in the Havoc, coming in behind his team with the big firepower, but already on him is, I believe, actually I Spy and the Star Viper. Yes, it is. I Spy and the rest of his team on Team Aenema, or Team Ryylla, trying to close in. Oh, Talos out of there, going over to I Spy, who is helped with that kill, is already dogging down the next member of Team Aenema. Opu in the JSF, trying his best to provide support to his remaining team members. Team Ryylla, though, putting on the pressure. As we see Annabelle Craft Lady actually already 31% on shields. Oh, another glance. Ooh, somebody else just bit the dust, though. Annabelle taking some hits. I Spy has not taken a hit yet. Is actually right here, chasing down Annabelle in that Dune Lizard. Looks like Annabelle is in a 1v3 situation right now. And it looks like there's a 1v1 going off to the side here. But it looks like that's resolved, and everyone's now in the fight. Ooh, missile going out. I Spy at 50% shields. Annabelle at 65% armor, 40% shields. OPU hasn't taken a hit yet in the JSF. 100% across the board. I Spy still giving us best look here at this fight as we zoom in, as the fight starts clustering up here for I Spy. Oh, there's a hit on Annabelle. Annabelle, 26% shield, 65% armor, not in a chassis yet. Dangerously close, though. OPU and KR trying to give support to Annabelle here. Ooh. That's it for Annabelle, though. Just getting taken out there as we see I Spy still in it. OPU, last member standing of Team Aenema, but not going out without a fight in a 1v2 here. Aenema versus what looks like to be Ryylla and I Spy. This fight's pretty far out from one of our cameras, so we're going to try and get the best angle as we can here, which it looks like actually is OPU. This is a tense fight. They're just balling out there. I Spy at 56 shields and armor. OPU taking some hits finally at 37% shields, 71% armor. If OPU can get this match to timeout, so last for the full 5 minutes, we could see another reset like we saw on the other match, and they will have to redo this round, which will give Team Aenema the opportunity to not take a loss, but Team Ryylla wants this win really bad, and they get it. There goes OPU, as I Spy and Ryylla secure the win. So we are going to a third match here for third and fourth place. And it looks like we're off. Ryylla heading in. Let's get a wider shot here of Annabelle. Annabelle coming in with that Dune Lizard. Trying to get some hits entering in, but does not quite connect. Looks like we have two people chasing down Annabelle right now. Nokisa and Ryylla. Ooh, Annabelle already out of it. Nokisa and Ryylla ganging up on that Dune Lizard. As we see here, Annabelle and the TIE Defender already taking hits down to 51% shield, 67% armor. Kayar and the Vaxai here already taking some hits, coming in hot. Get some hits on their armor, 50-50 on shields and armor. Lost it on one side, getting dogged down right now. Kayar is out of here, going back to Ryylla. As we see Nokisa as well in the Roarak TIE Interceptor. Uh-oh, Team Aenema, are we done? Or are we in a 1v4? No, we're done. Team Ryylla with the win, securing their third place in the fourth Server Best Pilots tournament. That was a very furious round. Looks like we're ready, though. We're moving in. Finals, Team Falos versus Team Ya. Spadebop already taken out of the mix early off camera here, as Ryylla is deep in this fight already, giving angles to his gunner Baramy as Ryylla pulls out here, staying wide on the outside of the fight to try and give as many angles as possible while staying safe and doing some hit and runs. Ooh, we see some big hits go in there. Spadebop already being out immediately puts Team Falos on the back foot. But Rojas and the TIE Defender, that's a lot of firepower, is still up there, as we can see from this wider angle of the fight. 76% on shields, already been tapped once, and people are on him right now. He's trying to shake him off and get an angle. But Team Yaw is not letting up, especially with the numbers advantage now between not just their pilots, but also one of their pilots, again, having a gunner in that Y-Wing can make a big deal. We haven't seen much success with turreted vessels in the past, but this SPP's been different. Ryylla is definitely showing the value of that Y-Wing. Aldi's taken out, looks like, of Team Yaw, but Ryllian's still in it right here with the Y-Wing, but it's been taking some hits. Team Falos trying to get him out of here, or at least scare him, but Ryllian's pulling out, going to try and recover while getting his gunner an angle. You want to be careful in that pursuit, though. You see that gunner's keeping pressure on the pursuer, trying to ward them away, buy some time for Ryllian to recover shields here. This fight is continuing around these asteroids, too, so people using this cover, and Ryllian trying to use it to his advantage right now, trying to narrow down the amount of approach that this pursuing fighter has against him, giving his gunner a better shot, and also coverage from other fighters as well. Ooh, down to 30% shields. Moving tight here on this camera. Looks like Ryllian is still trying to get this pursuer off, which I think that's Falos in the bell, who's on Ryllian, and sure enough, here on camera one, we see Falos and Ryllian in this 1v1, or 1v2 if we want to count the gunner. Falos taking some hits. Another one there, 20% shields, 98% armor. They are in a duel. If anyone's not afraid of chasing a turreted vessel, it's Falos. Falos has all the time. Ooh, big hit on Ryllian there from Falos. Ryllian down to 2% armor, 12% chassis. Falos can get one more shot of him. That's it. Ryllian's gone. Falos has secured the kill for his team. That opens up a lot of room for Team Falos to make a recovery here as we come over to Yaw, who is still at 100%. Been in some duel somewhere. Not having too much problem, but you know, we do have Rough Rider right here in the Carax. 77% shields, 90% armor. Falos coming in right behind him, as you can see there in the Bellabub. Falos trying to put pressure on this, but now we have Yaw putting pressure on Falos. We got a 2v2 right now going on, I believe. Yaw and Rough Rider versus Falos and Raxai, aka Rhapsody. Rough Rider in the Carax, zooming in here. Falos not giving him any breathing room. He's just trying to spin around and get these guns on him, but Falos is not just giving him opportunity. And Falos has a lot of firepower there for the Bellabub. With Yaw here too on the Star Viper versus Star Viper between Yaw and Raxai. Yaw is kind of ignoring Raxai here, trying to keep pressure on Falos, seeing Falos as the bigger threat there, I believe, and also trying to give some room to Rough Rider, who's having a hard time shaking Falos as we move over to Falos' perspective to see how he's doing with the 51% shields. Yaw's out of it. Yaw's just taken out. Raxai or Falos got a hit on Yaw when they weren't ready. And that's made a lot of trouble for Rough Rider, who's now last one in it here in the Carax, taking some shield damage, down to 50% armor, lost armor on one side. Still 100% chassis, though, but this fight is starting to spiral slowly away from us here. Uh-oh. But I think that's it. Yep, Rough Rider eliminated. Team Falos coming out with the W in this first round. Really close, though. Came down to a 2v2, then a 2v1. And speaking of charging in, here we go. Game 2 of finals. Watching Raikat move in from Team Falos. Picking a target. Already see Ryllian in that Y-Wing starting to do maneuvers. Yeah, I think already's taken a hit there from somebody. Spadebop, I think. This fight's moving out. Let's go to Aldi's. Aldi's right here. Already at 50% shields. In the thick of it. With their advanced X-Wing. That's a lot of firepower, but not the same maneuverability as these other ships we see. Already down to 50% armor. There goes Aldi's. As we come back to look at Raikat here. You know what? And let's check up on Roarak is also eliminated. Up close though, we see Falos here in the Bellabub. Chasing down Ryylla again. Ryylla, oh! Falos getting Ryylla in the chase. Falos turning around to now meet his remaining competition, which seems to be Rough Rider in the Corrects. Rough Rider already taking a hit there from Falos. Raikat still in it as well, being able to provide some support here. Zoom in a little bit here. Falos, who's getting chased down by, I think that's Ya, still in the Star Viper. Sure is. Ya at 50% armor and 70% chassis, but fixed their shields already. Ooh, well, the fight is spinning away from all camera angles. The closest we have right now is, I think, Raikat. Oh no, everyone's going. So we see Ya here status, 50% armor, 70% chassis, 2,000 meters out, starting to head out from the fight area, but it's intense. Raikat hasn't been hit. Booty Hunter's at 60% shields, gone, just unloaded. Let's go back to Booty Hunter. 26% shields, 50% armor. Someone got hit on Falos. I think we're in a 3v3 right now. Maybe a 4v3. No, we should be in a 3v3. 2v3? Oh, right. Ryylla already gone. So it's Ya and Rough Rider locking it down for Team Ya, who needs to win to stay in for first. And then Raikat is still up here in the Star Viper. If I zoom in, you can kind of see them starting to come around. Trying to support Falos here. Taking out either Ya or Rough Rider. See how Rough Rider's doing the cracks. 83% shields, 32% armor. Nothing down on chassis yet, but it's coming in close as we come back to Raikat here in the Star Viper. Just in the thick of it, we see them balling up here. Ooh, someone just got a hit. That was Rough Rider, down to 0% armor now, 70% chassis. Rough Rider can't take another hit like that, or they're going to be out of this. And Rough Rider needs to stay in. They need to support their team members who are left in the fight here. We are losing the fight here. As it moves further and further out. This is still our best angle between all the cameras. Gone. I don't know where they went, everybody. They're out there. Oh, it looks like that's a win for Team Falos. Off screen, they finished off Rough Rider and Ya. That's it, everybody. That is... that's the win. In the final round, we had Team Aenema go 1-2 against Team Ryylla. So Team Ryylla securing third. And then Team Falos going 2-0 against Team Ya, who definitely were not sleeping on it. So good fights, everybody. Well, let's review. The winner of the server best spots number 4 is Team Falos in the first slot after a very exciting finals. Then Team Ya in second. And then we have Team Ryylla in third and Team Aenema in fourth. Kind of ended up how their point score went. That's really funny. Great performance, everybody. Maximoniamo, great performance on stream. I had you in a few shots. Tried to get everybody in at least once. And obviously twice. And we are going to land here in a moment after I finish reviewing the scores. And again, the total pot was 325 million credits being split between first, second, and third. So Team Falos will split a 50% of the pot. Team Ya 30 and Team Ryylla 20. We are going to go land though, and we are going to see what's going down on the ground as we need to get a shot of all of our pilots. Do we not? All right, we are at Yavin Mining Outpost. Here are some of the participants from today, as well as staff members. So we have infamous pilots such as Annabelle Craft Lady. See, you got Roarak down here. We got Kayar, who did great in the VAC site earlier. We got Ya down here. Ya, who's not even level 90 on this character. They'll get there eventually through XP in space. Dude, we got Rough Rider down here, put up really good performance. And we have staff members as well. Incon is currently paying out the winnings to the team. Here is Max. Here's Team Ryylla, by the way. Wow, look at him. Nice drip, everybody. I'm glad that you dressed up for this. Our third place winners for today. So congratulations to them. Put up a strong fight against Team Aenema. See if we can see any other team members hanging around. Oh, there's Viper. Put up great fights in the heavy sick today. We have Rough Rider. We have Team Yaw slowly forming up over here next to Incon. Oh no, the Booty Licker's here. He's relentless, everybody. Also, you have elusive target. Is that just from like turning around space bounty hunts? If so, that's hilarious. It has to be. I don't think I've seen Falos ever hold a gun on ground. There's Baramy. This was Rillion's gunner, everybody. Holding it down in the Y-wing for Pilot Ryllion. Everyone else partying over here as Incon gets all the payments settled. Speaking of Pilot Ryllion, here he is. Team member of Team Yaw, second place, this SBT, the Y-wing pilot you saw earlier. There's Aldi standing out with Team Yaw as well. Oh no, the Booty Hunter's taking his bug out. Put that away. No one wants to see that. Again, event host and coordinator Incon. Handing out prize winnings right now. If space is ever anything you want to get involved with, or if you want to get involved with the Server Best Pilots next time is around, make sure to watch the Pilots Club channel in the Legends Discord or join the Space Licks Discord so you're just in the Discord that hosts the Server Best Pilot event. How does a 4v4 work? There's teams of 4. They get grouped up and they shoot duels to each other and then they start dueling. Opu flew a great Jedi Starfighter today. One of, I don't know, 4 Celestins on the server. Oh, here we go. Finally, the full lineup of Team Yaw here. Who else is still hanging around? Rojas here. Team Falos with Raikat as well. Demmas also participated. Wow, it's Ratsmacker. Flew great for the first SBP. Ratsmacker and little Kiara Kitty both flew very well for their team. Team Slayer. So these aren't all of our participants and spectators. Some people had to go after the conclusion of the tournament as they got stuff to do. It's still early in the day for some folks like myself. But this is it for the Server Best Tournament number 4. If you missed any of the action, the VOD will be available pretty shortly after the end of the stream, but I will be doing an edited down version for YouTube. So if you want to just see the fights and the pre-show, which I highly recommend watching, which again, thank you to Hack for hopping on and helping me discuss some of the team comps and matchups and how the fights would go. And again, I want to thank Inconspicuous for putting on the event, handling all the logistics payouts. Thanks to everyone on staff, SVP staff, who helped coordinate. Thanks for all of the people who've signed up to be alternates and were able to fill in. Thanks to all the participants and pilots. It was very fun watching you all. We also hope you had fun participating and viewing. Some of you have some good clips here, I think, out of the whole event that will be up on YouTube. And we hope to see more people again sign up for the next one. No plans on when that will be. So just keep it posted in the Legends Discord. It gets announced in there as well as Space Licks. And if you need an invite to the Space Licks Discord, just ask in the Legends Discord. There's tons of people in there who'll be happy to invite you. And again, if you ever want to get involved in the tournament, but you are a new pilot, many people are happy to mentor, give you practice, and people share ship parts. So your team will help fill it in. That is my Discord link in the chat, by the way. That is not SpaceLix, but if you want to join my Discord, feel free. I stream events like these on SWG Legends. I also do other stuff, but mostly playing and covering SWG Legends news, events, and all the goings-on. But I think with that, unless we're grouping up for a team photo here. All right, so with that, these are some of your Server Best Pods participants and viewers. So, and staff, of course. Don't want to forget about them. So with that, I'm going to end it here. Thanks all for coming out on this Saturday. Should there be another Server Best Pod event, I'll be happy to cover it as able, and I'll make sure to announce it similarly like this time, as I do every time. And I hope to see you all in Deep Space, especially for the Battle of Restus coming up in a month-ish, as Deep Space will be part of the focus of that event. I'm going to have to slate players up in Deep Space. Support your team.